Good morning, sweet family. Thank you so much for coming back. Today, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to tell you a story that happened about 25 years ago. This is a story about people that the Lord puts in our life or lets them cross our path. And we quickly find out that they are not random or but there by any chance. We realize that it is a divine intervention. Anyway, this story took place about 25 years ago. Like I said, we had just purchased our new home in Newport Beach and it was on the water. It was beautiful. And I had just finished doing 4 years of my chemo. So it was a welcome break. I was so happy. I was getting a nice respite and a brand new home, a fresh start. I was very excited. Anyway, this is about holiday time. And I wanted to have a big Christmas party. So I rented the beautiful clubhouse that was there. It was on the water, was stunning. And I invited everybody, all my family, friends, and people from church. And I thought, man, we're gonna have a great party and celebrate. So anyway, I'm walking the dog the morning of the party. And I'm just going along the boardwalk, and coming up to me is a lady. Now, this lady is like old. I mean, she's like, looks like she's almost 90. She's gorgeous, though. I mean, gorgeous, dressed impeccably, very beautiful, very gracious. I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, my name is Connie. I just moved in right here, blah, blah, blah." So we made this immediate connection. I literally am looking at her thinking, I want to be that when, when I get this age, because she was just incredible. So I invite her in. I said, "Hey, would you like to come in for a cup of tea?" She says, "Oh, okay." So she comes in. We're having our tea. Now, this is where it gets a little nutty because the second she comes in the door, she's like looking at my house and she goes, "Oh, wow." She goes, "I have that same alabaster vase. Oh, I have those same gold sconces. Oh, I have those two paintings." And I'm thinking to myself, is she a little confused or is she a little touched? Because I'm thinking, this is not stuff you go buy at Home Goods. I mean, these are antiques that I have been curating for years, okay? And a lot of them are one of a kind things. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, let's just humor her. Maybe she means she has something that looks like that. So I'm like letting it go. I'm not thinking much of it. We finish our tea. We have a really nice visit. And so I offer to walk her home. She lives right around the corner from me. So we get to her house. I'm standing at her yard and I go, "Wow, I love your fountain." I said, "That's so beautiful." She had a big cement antique fountain and it was all carved roses with a cherub coming out of the top. And I said, "Oh, I have a thing for fountains." I said, "I love them." And she goes, "You know what?" She goes, "I'm going to give it to you." And I go, "What?" And I said, "No, no, no." And she goes, "No." She goes, "I can't take it where I'm going to be moving," because she's getting ready to move. She says, "I want you to have it." She goes, "When I leave," she goes, "Why do I want to give it to the other people?" She goes, "Just come and take it, right?" So I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah." So she opens her door. We go in, and I'm like, "What the heck?" Now I'm freaking out because she's not freaking out. I'm freaking out. I said, "She has the exact same house as me." It was like walking into my house. Every single thing she said that she had of mine was hers. It was like my own house. I'm thinking, what in the world? I'm telling you, there was this weird, weird connection with her, like we had been friends for a million years. And I felt so bad because she starts to tell me the story that she can't live there anymore because her nephews want to move her into assisted living. They don't want her living alone anymore. They think she's too old and she had fallen or whatever. So, and I'm thinking, no, I said, I just met you. And I loved her. She was so adorable. And I'm thinking, now she's going to be gone. So I invite her to the party. I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm having a party tonight, Jan." I said, "I would love it if you could come." I said, "It's going to be right here at the clubhouse." And she goes, "Oh, well, is it very dressy?" I said, "Yeah, pull out all the stops, girl." I said, "Gussy up. It's Christmas. Why not?" Now I'm thinking, okay, she's almost 90. She's in the middle of moving and it's last minute notice. I'm not thinking she's going to be coming. I just let it go. But I wanted to extend the invitation because I would have loved for her to be there. Anyway, the party starts. There's like 100 people there. Now I'm trying to make the rounds talking to everybody because I like to greet everyone that comes. Lo and behold, boom, she comes in the door. Stop right here because she is in a black skin tight floor length velvet gown. She's wearing a white mink stole. And she's got her hair all swooshed over to the side, long white hair with red lipstick and this diamond necklace. I go over to her and I go, everyone's looking at her. She looked like a fashion model. I go, "Jan, oh my gosh." I go, "You took me seriously." I go, "Girl, you look beautiful." I said, "I'm especially in love with that necklace you're wearing." She goes, "You know what? I'm going to give it to you after the party's over tonight." And I'm like, "No, no, no." I said, "I'm just saying I love it." I go, "You don't have to give it to me." She goes, "No, I'm never going to wear it again." She goes, "I want you to remember me by this necklace." And I said, "Okay, I'm not putting much thought into it. I'm thinking she's not going to remember that. She's just something she's saying." Anyway, the party's going around, and I'm looking over at her and I could tell she kind of wants to say something to me, but I'm so busy with everybody and doing food and stuff. And but she comes up to me finally. I'm talking with 3 people. She comes up to me, she taps me on the shoulder. She goes, "Connie, I want you to have this." And I'm thinking, what is she talking about, the necklace or what? But she has a little card in her hand. She goes, "No, I want you to have this." And she starts telling me the story how she's taking down all the photos in her house, packing them up. She said, "I can't hang anything where I'm going." She goes, "There's no walls there to hang." So she said, "I'm just taking all the pictures out." She goes, "But I took down this picture of my husband." She goes, "He's standing with a woman." She goes, "And I don't know this woman, and I've never seen this woman before in my life. But on the back of the photograph was taped this little card." She goes, "And I want you to have it." So I'm thinking, okay, she hands it to me. It's a lady, it looks like she's from the 1800s. But the saying, there's a little cute saying on the very bottom, and it says, "Until the end of the world, I will spend my heaven doing good upon earth." And I go, "Oh my God, Jen, that's so pretty." I said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate that." I go, "That's really beautiful." I'm thinking in my mind, she must be giving it to me because I was being kind to her, befriended her. We had the same house. I invited her in for tea. I invited her to the Christmas party. This is the connection I'm making. She goes, "No, no, no, honey." She goes, "You need to turn it over." She goes, "I saw this today." And she goes, "I can't believe it." And so now these are little prayer cards. They're memento cards that they give out. The Catholic Church gives them out they're like to remember the deceased. And they usually have a little scripture saying, and on the back of it is all the personal information about the person with their name and blah, blah, blah. So she's telling me to turn it over. I turn it over. Now I'm freaking out. It says, the lady who died, Connie Ryan. That's me. I'm like, what? I'm I'm a little shook to say the least for the rest of the night. And I've got chills going down my spine. I'm like, what? How does that happen? She goes, "I know, right?" She goes, "I just met you. That's so weird." Before she leaves the party, she takes the necklace off. Now, this is the necklace. It's absolutely stunning, vintage pearls and diamonds, rhinestones. And she goes, "I want you to have this, Connie." She goes, "To remember me." And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, "Jan, are you kidding me?" I'm thinking, now keep in mind, I just met this lady 8 hours ago. She just gave me a fountain. She just gave me a diamond necklace and she dropped this bombshell that I should be dead. I'm like, what is happening here? Not to mention her house is exactly like my house. It was just all too crazy. It was probably the most mysterious encounter I've ever had with anybody in my life. I have yet to have anything happen to me like that again. The only thing I could come up with is sometimes the Lord lets people cross our path that may be angelic creatures. We don't know because scripture tells us in Hebrews, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, thereby some have entertained angels unaware." And I truly, and on my heart of hearts, believe that this was one of those encounters because it was all just too bizarro. It was too much of a coincidence. But then I think, sometimes the Lord allows people in our life that bring us what we need when we need it. I just moved there. I didn't know anybody. This is the first lady I ever met. And she was so beautiful and lovely. And our lives were so parallel. It was creepy. I mean, her husband's an Italian lawyer. I'm Italian. Her house looks like mine. And then she finds this random thing that she doesn't know anything about that's got my name on it. It was like, what? But we're never going to know the whole full story of this incident on this side of heaven because I just don't think it's ever going to happen. She's long gone. I've never seen her again. I didn't even get her last name or her phone number. I was going to do that when I went there. But even so, when we meet people in our lives, I'm sure you've had this happen where someone's in your life for a split second, basically, but they give you something. It could be a prayer, a phrase, a saying, a piece of information, something that rocks your world and changes your life. It's amazing. And these people could very well be angelic. We don't know. But then you meet some people that are just give you that, and they're not angels. They're just people, but they're not random. The Lord gave you them for a reason. But when people behave like an angel, doesn't the earth for just a moment seem a lot more like heaven? At least it does for me. Anyway, I want you to enjoy the story. I want you to comment below if you have any ideas what you think this could be about. And just have a beautiful week because I know I am. And I'll see you next time. Bye.